Alright, so I got a new box on the bench here. Going to make just a pretty standard cigar box guitar. And I thought it'd be a good time to show how I handle scarf joints. And that's really just going to be how your neck, the headstock of your neck angles back. The first thing I do is decide, well, if it's going to be a neck through, I know my neck's going to go about there. If the bridge is going to be about right here, and I know it's going to be a, say, 24.5-inch scale, then I'll measure from my bridge point all the way to the nut point and mark that off with a 90-degree line. Now this is going to be the headstock part that tilts back. So then what I'm going to do is I just try to decide. I don't have a preset angle that I always use. There's probably some correct angle that people should use, but I just put a ruler up, and if I think that looks like an angle that I want the headstock to be, then I draw that line. Okay, and that's going to be my angle. Then I'll draw a 90-degree line there, and then I also connect that so I have the same angle on both sides. Alright, now we're going to cut it. Okay, so I have the wood for the neck clamped onto the table using a piece of scrap wood. Just keeps your wood protected from being dented by the clamp. Got a good old, just trusty jigsaw and a steady hand. Don't forget your safety glasses. Now, I'm just going to go as cleanly as I can and slowly on the line. Okay, if it's not perfect, I'm going to straighten it out in a minute. Alright, so pretty clean cut, and I'm going to clean all this up a little bit more on the belt sander. Alright, so that little tom on the sander has given me a nice clean face here on what will be the headstock, as well as on the neck wood here. What I always have to remind myself of is that this surface area is not going to be glued to anything. Okay, it's the headstock wood on the angle that the way I do these headstocks. It's the headstock surface here that's going to be gluing to the already planed face or plain side of the neck wood, and those are going to seat together just like that. Right, that gives you the angle. You just want to make sure that that's got to be super straight so you can have a good glue surface there. You don't want it, if it's rounded too much, it's going to be rocking around. So that's got to be absolutely straight. You're going to put that together there. You're going to glue it up, and it's going to be a nice angled scarf there. And if for some reason your top surface there isn't straight later, well, you could rasp that later or put it back on the sander. So, you know, could you do this without a belt sander? I would say you could. You might take a little more time with a file or a rasp, or a microplaner, getting that straight. But I would say it's doable. But the belt sander is definitely a plus. So there you have it. That's what I call my poor man scarf joint.